Hello and welcome to a new video on my channel. I'm Adam and today we are ranking actually a request video from, I believe it's Vincent Simon? See, Kymon? I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it, so sorry if I pronounce it wrong. But in my Beast Quest Series 2 retrospective, I got a comment from Vincent asking if I could rank the strongest beast from each series where Malvel is the main villain. So I decided that, yeah, that's a great idea. I will do that. And I decided to chuck in the specials where he's the main villain as well, just to make it a bit more interesting. And he did say when it came to ranking them, he would like me to rank them on what I see to be the weakest to the strongest. So that will take into account the abilities as well, and just my personal opinion on how strong / weak I think they are. So let's get into this. I'm just going to pause the video quickly just to double check the ranking, and then I will get back into it. Okay, so give me a minute. Okay, so I fixed the ranking, and what I took into account here is my personal preference does not get included in this at all. It's just what I personally believe to be the weakest beast, well, the strongest beast from each series that Malvel is the main villain in, which are the seasons being series 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 9, 10, 20, 21, 28, and 29, as well as the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, the 7 specials where Malvel is the main villain in them. And I ranked them all together from in what I see to be the weakest to the strongest. But I took into account the abilities that each of these beasts from each series have, and what I personally believe makes them the best of their series, and then I put them together in a figurative free-for-all fight, and then picked who I think will win more likely first, then second, then so on and so forth. So I'm happy with this ranking. And please bear in mind, this is my opinion, so if your opinion is different, please in the comments below I think that. However, I was asked to do what I think is the weakest or strongest on Malvel's strongest beast from each series. I chucked the specials in, so let's see how this ranking of 18 goes. So last place, we actually have Trillian the Three-Headed Lion. And what makes me think Trillian is the weakest is that compared to all the other beasts here, he's easily the smallest one. And despite having an ability where it's established where he has an impenetrable hide, and it's going to be quite hard to hit, to me that doesn't really save him. Because yeah, okay, that can save him from some physical attacks with a sword or something, but does that protect him from being burnt? Probably not. Will it prevent him from falling from high heights? Probably not. Will it prevent him from being struck by lightning and feeling pain from it? Probably not. There's a bunch of aspects about it which I think kind of makes Trillian weaker. There are a few other aspects on where, okay, if you get hit by a blunt range attack, let's say acidic fangs, you're still gonna feel the poison there, and it depends how hard they swipe. If they slice right through you, well, your impenetrable hide is not so impenetrable anymore, is it? So yeah, that is my whole reason why I put Trillian in last place. And don't disrespect Series 2. I do see Trillian as the strongest beast of that series, but when you have the likes of Claw, Arachnid, and Zephyr, along with Vipero, it's not really much of a competition. And then you have Sultra, which I can see being powerful, but I wouldn't say she is the most powerful of that series. She's the best book of that series, in my opinion, and my favourite beast of that series, but not the strongest. Up next, in 17th place, we have our first special being Arax the Soul Stealer. The reason why I think Arax is probably the weakest of these specials is because the only main attack he has is a whip which steals people's souls, but that doesn't prevent them from actually fighting. It just takes the spirit away. But then you got along the lines of a bunch of other things about him, and okay, you can beat Trillion because he has the height advantage, but the next three beasts which I have here can also fly as well and have much better powers than taking people's souls. Honestly, I think when it comes to talking about Arax, he looks cool on cover. He looks cool on the cover. So don't get me wrong, he looks great. However, on a actual power ranking, he's one of the weaker beasts and one of the weaker specials, really, in my opinion. To the point where I would say he's not that great. Up next, we have Vedra and Crymon. Now, we were probably expecting them to be quite low, but the reason why I put this one higher than Arax and Trillion is because there's two of them, and they can also fly. So I think they would easily gang up on Arax to the point where it would almost be unfair and kind of comical just to see two dragons take care of Arax so easily. Arax can probably take one of their souls, but it's not going to stop the other from fighting. Plus, they communicate through their bellies to each other by glowing them. So they actually can communicate to say, hey, attack coming this way, duck, or so on and so forth. I feel they are great with tag teaming. And that's why I put them above Arax. Now, 1876. So in 15th place, I actually have Spyros the Ghost Phoenix. Now, the reason why Spyros is above Vedra and Crymon is because she's a phoenix. She is immune to fire. And so Vedra and Crymon can breathe fire on her, but it's not going to do anything. She has that ghostly phasing ability as well, which would help out in a fight against them as well. And also, her fireballs can actually attack Vedra and Crymon and would probably do damage before Vedra and Crymon can even get close and attack her. Yeah, I'm aware a tag teaming of Vedra and Crymon could possibly beat Spyros, but I can also see Spyros winning. In 14th place, we have Velacro the Lightning Bird, the representative of Series 28, and in my opinion, the second weakest of the main series of Malvel's strongest beasts from each series. That's a tongue twister, isn't it? So, yeah, Velacro has that ability where he can go transform into a flock of Janus birds, create a portal, go to different realms. That's cool, don't get me wrong. But then when he's formed together, he has two sharp beaks, flight, and can shoot lightning bolts from his claws. Other than that, that's not really much. So I can see Velacro taking down Spyros and Vedra and Crymon easily. But other than that, I can't actually see Velacro beating any other beast I've yet to say. But in 13th place, we have Kragos and Kildor. Now, what can I say about you? Definitely one of the more forgettable beasts of this series, of the specials, so bear with me here. But I remember Kragos and Kildor having like an ability where they can make fiery discs and chuck them at his opponents, which is why I would rank Kragos and Kildor higher than Velacro. They also have the transmutation ability where they can go from Kragos and Kildor merged into one to Kragos and Kildor separately. And then they have a whole bunch of other abilities there. They have the diversity which makes them a kind of good beast. Which I haven't been able to take full advantage of in a Battle of the Beasts tournament. So that's why they rank quite low. But I guess I can see Kragos and Kildor beating Velacro. But I wouldn't say it's an easy victory. In 12th place, we have the strongest beast from Series 9. Debatably. Now, I say that because, disclaimer, Torpix is actually not on this ranking. To me, the strongest beast in Series 9 is Torpix. I'll explain more of that in my Series 9 retrospective. But the reason why Torpix is not on this list is because he was never a servant of Malvel. In Series 9, Malvel was obviously the main villain and had this whole transformation beast arc going on where he would take a human or an animal and transform them into a beast that Tom and Alina would have to defeat in Seraph. Just so he can distract them so he can get to the Eternal Flame. What Malvel did not expect, though, was a beast of Seraph protecting the Eternal Flame. Torpix ate Malvel, And yes, Malvel got out, barely, and got trapped in the Eternal Flame. But the thing is, though, Torpix never belonged to Malvel. So for that, it would feel a bit unfair if I added Torpix onto this list. But I can add Silver. So Silver is the strongest beast from Series 9 that Malvel had control over. So I can easily see Silver taking care of Kratos and Kildor, being much bigger than them, in my opinion. And yeah, it can probably take damage from the fiery discs, but I feel because the Kratos and Kildor may not be having that better speed, that's what makes me think that Kratos and Kildor isn't going to kill Silver, because Silver has the speed advantage on them. But ultimately, though, what draws Silver from going any further back is the lack of abilities that he has. So he can't really fly, he can't swim that well, so that's two terrains that he's not great at. And he doesn't have any abilities which can inflict poison or is a ranged attack ability, which all the following beasts have, or have a stupidly overpowered physical ability, or just very durable, like Silver is. Speaking of which, I'm going to surprise a lot of you here because I voiced my dislike of this beast a lot. But in, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In 11th place, just missing out on the top 10. Are you ready for this? Is Tusk the Mighty Mammoth. The beast, in my opinion, is the strongest of Series 3. And I cannot believe I just said that. But the reason why I put Tusk as the strongest of Series 3 is because it took a teamwork of Tom, Alina, and the Gorgonian rebels to take down this mammoth. Not to mention, Tusk has the durability, as stated, because of teamwork to take her down, but also poisonous tusks as well, which, when inflicted, can poison the opponent. Which is why I think Tusk could beat Silver, because Tusk is quite fast in the stampede mode, and so I can see her being a bit slower than Silver, but being able to actually get to Silver. So that's why Tusk is where she is and above Silver. I do see the other beasts beating Tusk, whether they're land beasts just having a better ability, or air beasts where Tusk can't actually get to them. In 10th place, we have Skrar the Night Scavenger, the strongest beast of Series 21. This comes to no surprise that this is the strongest beast of Series 21, especially when you got two bugs which are weak to fire. Well, one bug and one arachnid which is weak to fire tremendously, one of which gets attracted to fire. And then you got another one which isn't weak to fire and has been proven to be quite hard to kill, but lacks the whole, I would say, common sense that a beast should have, because that beast died by fall damage. But what I'm trying to say is, if Skrar wasn't in Series 21, I'd argue Greymon is the strongest of Series 21. I can't believe I said that. This is surprising me. Oh, I'm glad I did this video now. Thank you, Vincent, for recommending it. But yeah, for me, Skrar is the strongest beast of this series for the simple reason of that ignition ability being hot enough to evaporate a whole lake in a matter of seconds. And in my Battle of the Beast tournament, I have taken advantage of that to the point where he's killed Diamond, Liquid Metal, and a Spirit, which can transform into multiple things. But yeah, Skrar is definitely the strongest beast of Series 21, with Greymon actually coming in a close second. What stops Skrar from going any further up is actually his weakness being such a glaring one, which can actually... his weakness being such a glaring one, which can actually pull him down. So instead of being in the top 4, where I could have seen him in the top 10. In 9th place, we have Draka the Winged Serpent. Now, I don't remember much about this beast, because compared to the other books I've recently read, I haven't read Draka in 2 years. But what I remember is that he's a long serpentine-like dragon beast. Two of my favourite combinations, dragons and serpents. Having a tail whip, but also, I believe, acidic saliva or fangs, as well as flight, I think is actually quite a good ability. Why I rank Draken ninth place, though, is because his ability of the acidic saliva is not accurately ranged, if that makes sense. So I would say he needs to actually bite an opponent to inflict the acid in. This is just winging it where I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I don't actually see Draka doing much better against the following beast I've yet to say. But yeah, I'll say Draka is still a good beast, don't get me wrong. But he does have his flaws. So if I was to rank my top 50 Beast Quest books again, Draka probably wouldn't be as high as he was before. But still quite high. He's still my favourite of the New Protectors era and Series 29. Yeah, Series 29 in general. So that's something, I guess. But yeah, I think what throws me off is the whole not really having a ranged attack. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments below. But as of now, ninth place. That's quite good. In eighth place, this is a surprise to me. We have from Series 4, Blaze the Ice Dragon. Now, it was established in Series 4 that Stealth is the strongest beast of Series 4. However, I personally don't see it. So, I went with the beast that I believe was strongest, which was Blaze. And the reason why Blaze is the strongest, in my opinion, is not because he's the only beast of Series 4 to have the power of flight, the Ghost phasing ability, which all the other beasts have, but also can breathe ice, which is cold enough to freeze a volcano. So ignore my plot holes I have with that aside, especially when it's an active volcano. Just ignore my plot hole for that. If Blaze has ice strong enough to freeze a volcano, even if it's temporary, I think as a ranged attack, the ice can easily freeze any of the other beasts from Series 4 at a long range, where it's easy for Blaze to just freeze them, come in, shatter them, kill them, done. Doesn't even need to get close, hence why Rashuk or Stealth can't get to him. Now, he's above Draka for that reason, but he's below the other beasts because I think the other beasts can withstand the ice breath very well and or have a very good counter, which is common sense counter. So, with that, seventh place, we have Furno, the Fire Dragon. Arguably the strongest dragon I have on this list. And for representative of Series 1, obviously I had to go with Furno. Furno is, I think, can easily take Blaze. To the point where, yes, the ice is cold enough to freeze a volcano, but Furno has that fire in his heart and his belly to where the ice could freeze him, but it won't freeze him for long. Furno has fought through so much in both of my tournaments that I've hosted with him in, and that's why he is above Blaze. Plus, fire beats ice. Come on, Pokemon's taught me that. So that's why Furno is 7th place, whereas Blaze is 9th. 8th. Yeah, 8th. What stops Furno from going higher is that I believe the other beasts are stronger and physically stronger, but also have a stupidly overpowered ability which makes them stronger. 6th place, representing Series 20, the Isle of Ghosts, is Scalix the Snapping Horror. Now, for me, the main thing about Scalix which makes him so overpowered and the best piece of Series 20, or strongest piece of Series 20, is the whole tail that he has, which represents an Ankylosaurus. Or in Land Before Time, it's called a bopper. Love the films! But yeah, that is the main reason why Scalix is 6th place, because of that ability alone, being able to knock out any beast before Scalix easily. The other beasts that are up here, I think, can either avoid it, take the hit, or stop the hit. 5th place, we have Magrawr, Ogre of the Swamps. Now, it goes without saying, Magrawr is easily one of the stronger beasts of this series. and I think he can easily stop Skalax's tail and even bring it back on him by snapping it off and hitting him over the head with it, knocking him out. Now, what stops Magor from going further is that he doesn't have an ability which actually defends him. He just relies on his strength and his arms to stop any attack coming near him. But he can. But if he gets overwhelmed, Grashkor can come in and finish him off with a good old headbutt. But Grashkor also has the power of flight and the bone whip, which makes him better than Magor, in my opinion. And yeah, that's why Grashkor's fourth place. But also having the job of being the beast guard on the prison island, I would say is actually representative of his strength and dedication. Grashkor has gone to great lengths to be willing to die and destroy his domain just to kill one person who tries to escape the prison. So I think if you have that kind of dedication, you should be high. And Grashkor would be best in Magor due to having the power of flight. Plus, with that dedication, he can take a hit and he can dish a tougher one back. The reason why the three beasts above him are better is because they're either more defensive, can take the hit, or can hit a harder one back. And for that, third place is Texan the Armored Giant, the strongest beast from Series 10. Now, yes, not my favourite beast of Series 10, far from it, in fact. But I will be honest when I say Texan is a very strong beast. And if he didn't die to Morax in round 1 of the All-Generation Tournament on the Battle of the Beasts on the Adam Ferns archives, I do believe Texan could have gone quite far. However, that just wasn't meant to be, but being able to roll into a ball, crush his opponents in that ball form, but then come out, take any hit, and just hit back like a giant Godzilla. Yeah, I think Texan is easily the strongest beast of Series 10 to the point where it's no competition. I'm having a bit of trouble with my chair, where I think I might need to get a new one because it's broken now. So yeah, I'm going to need to sort that out. So hold on, let's sort something out. Okay, I'm now sat on something else, and my chair is, for lack of a better word, I think done. I think I need to retire the chair. I need to get a new one some point next year because I don't have the money for it now. So now I'm at a bit of a distance away from you guys, but that's fine, don't worry. Second place, we got to the top 2 now. Now, these two, for me, there was no competition on which two I believed were the strongest beasts that Malvel has had control over or has created. And when I say has control over, I mean, I wouldn't say he had control over this beast. I'll get to him later though. But in second place, we have Cressa the Winged Terror. Now, it goes, obviously, we can't ignore the elephant in the room with the whole deswarmination and reswarm ability. Being able to go into millions and billions of stabias to actually be able to attack. Which makes, in my opinion, Cressa a hard beast to hit, don't get me wrong. And I think can easily beat any of these beasts without taking much or little damage. The only real opponent I would say he would have, well, Cressa would have against, and it's a she by the way, I can imagine would be actually Blaze. And yeah, it's weird for me to actually give credit to Blaze, but Cressa's been established to be quite heat resistant. So looking back at it, I probably should have made Cressa win the Special Generation Tournament against Raksha. But I'll stick to what I said about Raksha winning, but whatever. He did win with more than just fire, so yeah, okay. I'll still say Raksha deserved the win. But Cressa, second place, yet again a runner-up. But yeah, I don't see any of the other beasts actually beating Cressa, except for number 1. And this beast in number 1 wasn't really controlled by Malvel, but I will say was more scared. and was actually not under the control of Malvel, but was only freaking out, wreaking havoc because he wasn't familiar with his surroundings. But because he was able to do so well by being unfamiliar with his surroundings and still putting up a good fight despite not being in his element, in my opinion, the strongest beast that Malvel had control over, technically not, and also the whole series for that fact, where Malvel is as his best with the beast perspective wise, is Series 7. And the strongest beast is Crestor the Crushing Terror. I established that in my Series 7 retrospective video, where I see Crestor actually being the best beast of that series, and I stand by that. He is the best in my opinion. And being the strongest beast that Malvel had control over, I believe that as well. If there was anything that really made me think that Crestor probably wasn't the strongest beast there, I don't know what it is. But Crestor was the only beast on that whole list of 18 that I can see beat Creta. And even then, that would be a very close fight. But the top two can change at any time. But I put Crestor on number one because I can see him beat Creta at times. But also he thrived in an environment which wasn't his own environment, which makes him a formidable opponent and a great beast for that fact. So with that, that is my ranking on the strongest beast that Malvel had control over for each series and the specials. So Vincent, I hope you enjoyed the video. I had fun making it and actually grew some appreciation for beasts I never thought I'd grow appreciation for. So thank you for that. But until then, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the notification bell down in the corner below. I think for my next video, I'm going to expand on that and do the strongest beast from each series of Beast Quest. No strings attached about that one. And then I'll see you next time.